Introduce to you Claire Castell. She started storytelling in 2017, just after retiring. She began storytelling classes at StageBridge, a nonprofit performing arts organization for seniors, within days of leaving her job. She has since performed her stories at the Contra Costa Tale Spinners, Delta Words Weavers, Better Said Than Done, 6 Feet Apart, Oakland Story Slam, The Moth, and the Marsh Theater. Claire likes to tell true personal stories, but she also collects stories of the loup garou that French immigrants brought to Acadia, Canada. In the middle of COVID, Claire downsized to live in a community of 10,000 seniors in Walnut Creek, California, and started a storytelling club. Please join me in welcoming Claire to the stage. And just unmute.
I think I'm unmuted. My story is called Rainbows and Unicorns. Well, I sat in that parking lot at the Sunnyvale Medical Clinic in my red Datsun for 15 minutes. I was kind of gripping the wheel of my car after that doctor appointment. I was trying to absorb the news that my IUD failed again. It was 1981 and I was 31. I was divorced, raising my 8-year-old son on my own. I was finishing college and night classes and working full-time in Silicon Valley. And, you know, in the meantime, in between, I'd get home for Little League and soccer games. And I was also trying to find love. Now, my boyfriend and I, Greg, we met in group therapy where we were both licking wounds from our recent tragic romantic breakups with other people. And yeah, I know, it really codependent. I agree. But the sex was so good. Now, we did love each other, but, you know, it hadn't gotten to that place where we were talking about long-term commitments. So I invited Greg over to my house that night and gave him the news. And Greg is a good man, and he tried to do the right thing. We can get married. Now, the truth is, Greg is one of those people that believe in finding the one. And he thinks there's the one out there. And he wasn't yet sure I was it. So I said, I appreciate the offer, but let's think about it a little bit more. So over the weekend, I went to my favorite meditation place. It's called Villa Montalvo in Saratoga. Some of you Californians might know of it. Yeah, I sat in a shady spot. They have these beautiful Italianate gardens. And I kind of wanted to think about pros and cons. You know, if Greg had been all in on this, I'd marry him in a heartbeat. My son liked Greg and Greg liked him, and he'd be a good father to him and to a new one. And Greg is smart and talented and good looking. And did I mention about the sex was really, really good? You know, it would be a dream come true. But the situation could be a recipe for disaster. You know, what if Greg finds the one somewhere else? And now I'm looking at a second divorce. I wouldn't finish my college degree. And in those days, with the cost of daycare and pantyhose, a woman could barely break even. And then I'd be a single mother with 2 children. I was already living paycheck to paycheck, and I wasn't getting child support from my ex-husband. Greg is a musician. Could he even afford child support? I don't know. I have to decide. Well, a week later, Greg walks with me, holding hands, through the doors of the Planned Parenthood in Sunnyvale. honestly, it was a bit of a production line inside there. And, the procedure hurts. The medical staff was stony faced, but afterwards, Greg bundled me home in his little rickety VW bus. And besides the noise of a 64 VW bus that needs a tune-up, we're quiet all the way home. Was this the right choice? Well, at home, Greg tucks me in bed. Now, I got to tell you, my bed, I had a really big bed and had a big white lace canopy. And from the canopy supports, I hung little ornaments of unicorns and rainbows and kitty cats. And so I could get into my little space under the bed, my own little Narnia of these beautiful creatures. So Greg sits down with me and gives me a bowl of soup and says, "Are you doing okay?" Yeah. And we're not angry or anything with each other. We sit and enjoy the Narnia together for a little while. Then my sister bursts in. "How'd it go? Did it hurt?" My best friend Judy, she comes over. "Who wants a joint?" She's lighting up here. And then my son comes into the bedroom now because he now thinks there's a party going on in my bedroom and he wants to be part of it. So he jumps up on the bed. And then even my cat, Goldstein, he jumps on the bed with us. And I have this wonderful moment when I look around. I have my sister, my son, my boyfriend, my best friend, my cat, all these people who care for me and love me. And I feel this. I feel that I have the love and support under this canopy with my rainbows and unicorns. And now I feel like this day, which was the most awful day in my life, now becomes one of the best days. Now, I may not be the one, but I am somebody who is loved. And I am somebody who had a choice.
Beautiful. Good job, Claire. Good job. Good job. Nicely done.
Thank you so much for sharing that adult story with us, Claire.
Yeah, I don't find many places where this might be okay to tell. So I thought, well, adults only, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. I understand that you started a new storytelling club.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. In April, we have free meeting rooms for clubs. They have like 200 clubs here. So I started one, and I started with something like 15 people, then 17 people, and then we advertised. Sarah, you might have heard about this. Ben Tucker, one of our favorite tellers around here, came as a featured teller. We had 40 people. So it's growing, and I've got Eleanor Clement Glass this in July. So it's growing. It's really, I'm excited.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about your story. That was quite an audience you had at home afterwards.
You mean the people on the bed in my little Narnia? Yeah, well, it was just such a feeling of being loved and cared about, where all these people had come together with me. And here's me thinking I've got to, go find love someplace else when it's kind of sitting right there. So it was, they were